Hi everyone, this is Charmaine here, and I'm the registered dietitian that helps people reverse type 2 diabetes. And today we have Ezekiel here with us again. You can say hi to everyone, Ezekiel.
Hello again, everyone.
Awesome, awesome. Well, the reason some of you may have known Ezekiel from my previous testimonial with him, and the reason why I want him to be on this interview again is because Ezekiel has amazing results. You can share with everyone, Ezekiel, what is the new result that you got?
4.6.
Amazing. So you went from 12.8 4 months ago to 4.6 today. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes, and the doctors cannot believe it. They keep
Uh-huh.
asking if I'm for real, if I'm actually not taking medication. They could not believe that I'm not taking medication.
Yeah, it is
Yes.
amazing. And, one of the things that I wanted to, do another interview with you is because you've already graduated from the program, right? But you're continuing this lifestyle and continuing to see the results. So my question for you is, what helps you keep going and what helps you, maintain this lifestyle, if that makes sense?
I think to me, okay, the two things. The first one is I just did not want to go back to where I was
Mm.
a few months ago. That's number one. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
it has just become so so livable. I mean, it's just so
Mm-hmm.
nice. The diet that people might, plant-based diet, people might think, oh, that there's nothing to that. I mean, this. I mean, I enjoy myself. I like the meals that I prepare.
Mm-hmm.
And I eat enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I eat enough without feeling guilty
Yeah.
that yeah, I'm putting things into my system that are not good. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those two things are the reasons why I do what I do.
Awesome. I love what you said about, one is you don't want to go back to how things were right before you reverse the
Yeah.
diabetes. But second is also it's very livable, right? Like it's very easy for you to continue to do this. Is that
I mean,
correct?
I was telling Kara the other week. I mean, I don't see how I stop it. I mean, and
Yeah.
again, I thank you guys because
Oh.
this was an introduction into a
Mhm.
lifestyle that I never, of course I used to hear, but I never
Right.
knew the need for it.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing how beneficial it is and how creative you can be in making your
Mm-hmm.
meals and how many varieties of things that are there that are healthy that you can eat. I mean, why
Mm-hmm.
not? Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And what would you say are some of your tips for someone that, wants to stay on this lifestyle or, because I know a lot of times it's like a mental thing where a lot of people feel like, oh, it's going to be really hard and, this is very different from what I'm used to. So what would you say is some of your tips for these people who, kind of have to get over that hump?
I think just one thing. Just ask yourself: is where you are, the trajectory that you are, is it sustainable?
Mm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
me that's what did it for me. Because I love my life. I have reasons to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I have a family. I have children.
Mm-hmm.
And here I was almost getting blind.
Yeah.
The numbers were so high that although I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know at the time, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I wasn't my life. The quality of my life was not good. And
Mm-hmm.
long term, knowing what this can bring,
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that this was not sustainable. You
Mm-hmm.
could decide to enjoy your meals the way you do now. They
Mm-hmm.
may be delicious. They may be what you are used to.
Mm-hmm.
But so then what? At the end of the day, your life is going to be short.
Mm.
So me, I focus on that positive side of
Yeah.
things. And
Mm-hmm.
then I discovered, like I already said, that I mean they can equally be as delicious. Plant-based
Mm-hmm.
diets can also be equally, if not more, delicious because you're eating
Mm-hmm.
it without having in the back of your mind that this is not healthy,
Yeah.
So this, I mean, it's just I'm doing what I'm doing without any sense of guilt.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And you're able to, be satisfied with the food. You're able to be creative with your food. I see that you always add so many spices to your food
Yeah.
as well. And that is just amazing to see. And I love what you shared because, I had someone that, was interested in, working with us, but he was like, I don't know about the food because I haven't had it before. And I know myself, if it's not good, then I'm not going to be in this program. He walked away. And so it saddens me because I feel like, if only you're able to taste the food, right? If only you take that step on the other side to, taste it and see that, yes, it can also taste really well as well. But I think the most important motivator for you is that you still have life to live, right?
That is right.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the thing is, what is there with life where you're eating what you want to eat and how you want to eat it, only to keep going down the that trajectory that we keep talking about.
Yeah.
So at some point you have to make a decision to change that. And you will be surprised that you end up living a more better quality of life, like I said, without thinking that, without worrying about what eventuality awaits you without the changes that we're talking about.
Right. And
Yeah.
I know you mentioned about, focusing on the positive aspect. How important it is, do you feel like on this journey it is to focus on the positive aspects of life?
It's very important, and because even with the example you just gave, you could easily be distracted. Initially when I first started one of my initial meetings with Karen, she was talking about avoid places where you may have been before and you like you go these restaurants that have these kinds of meals. But to me it was never an issue, honestly. Once I realized, like I told you there before, once I realized that there was a way out of this, I was always, every morning I woke up, I was thankful for the opportunity to keep living. Because me, honestly, when I was diagnosed, in my mind there was this thing that kept telling me that you're dying. You're not going to make it. This is serious. But when I found out that there was a way out of this, I was so thankful that my focus was, let me stay on this. And surprisingly, I came to discover that it's what you keep thinking that you become eventually.
Yeah.
Because if you enable the thought that it's not going to work, then it won't work. Because we start dying mentally before we die physically.
Yeah.
Because we are thinking that is going to be.
Yeah.
The opposite is also the case. If you see a way that changes your life and you embrace that, that's what your destiny becomes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know I mentioned this last time, but I feel like whenever I talk to you, Ezekiel, I feel like I'm talking to a guru. Just because I think you have such a great mindset to this. And a lot of times people feel like, oh, like this is all like woo-woo, like how does it have to do with science? But science actually show, how your mind is actually affects your body first and foremost. And that's something that, yes, like I always tell people, we have the tools to help you, but you need to work on the mindset as well. And of course, we help people to also work on the mindset. And it's crazy because placebo effects, right, actually have an effect because people believe it happens, right? They believe that, this is something that can help them. And so I think it's also important for people, like what you said, to be grateful for every day, to think about the things that they can live for. And I feel like that's the major difference that I see. And I always tell people this, the most successful clients I have actually are the most positive ones. And I think that you are definitely, what the heck, like from 12.8, almost 13 to 4.6. And I feel like your mindset has a lot to do with this.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it bears repeating. When I discovered that, and I think you remember I asked you a question. I said, "Are you sure that this is doable?" And I think you said close to 100%. You said, and especially when you're newly diagnosed, it's close to 100%. Then I said, if it's doable, then why not? Because you look at what the alternative would be. So I'm saying that to emphasize your point that a mindset is very, very important.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And is there anything that, I know I interviewed you, a couple months ago when you're 1 month in, right? You're 1 month in, you got off medications already in that first month, you already lowered your A1C from 12.8 to 7.4, I believe. Now you're at 4.6. Is there anything else that you feel like you've, gleaned from the process? Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience?
I think other than my mindset, which we have talked about, I always, and again, even if I don't tell you every time, I'm always thankful because I met you guys. You guys have been a great team. The kind of support that you gave me as a stranger. Of course, this is what you do for a living,
right?
But you went an extra mile to make sure that things were okay, and that's why we're even talking. We're not talking after I have left the program. That is how highly I think of you guys, and I would recommend whomever that is on the sidelines. I would highly recommend that they get in touch with you guys, and so other than the mindset, it's your team that I give a lot of credit to where we stand right now.
Thank you so much, Ezekiel. And, not to toot our own horn, but, we are very result oriented, or people oriented. Yes, this is the way I pay my whole team, this is the way I earn a living. But also at the same time, it really gives us so much joy to be able to see people like you transform your life, to be able to see, wow, like, you don't have to go down that road of getting amputations or dialysis. You can be on this road of, thriving, not having to worry about medications, not having to worry about diabetes, right? So it's definitely one of the things that we just love, even being able to see, even people who graduate from the program, to see how they're doing. And that's why I really wanted to do this interview, is to show people that this is something that is sustainable even after, the program is over, and something that we always give, lifetime support with the monthly reversing diabetes workshop and the weekly group coaching. So
yes.
Yes. So thank you so much for sharing, Ezekiel. I know last time I asked you, what would you say to someone who's on the fence of reversing diabetes? But let me ask you one last question. What would you say to someone who has gotten off track with, eating healthy, but wants to, start reversing diabetes again? What would you say to them?
I think the thing to do is to ask yourself, what trajectory you are on. And look at the whys in your life. Now, if you went down this trajectory and God forbid bad things were to happen, what does it mean to the whys in your life? And in this case, your children, your loved one, your husband, your wife, people that care for you or that you care for, that you'd want to be there for. And then you ask yourself another question: what do I have to lose in going through this? Like you've already indicated, I just went into this, and within a month, within a month, there was, a lot of changes. In which case, you could then go back, and you guys are flexible too. You say, okay, you could have like one day a week or so where you could go back and enjoy whatever it is that you
Mm-hmm.
had been enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
So why not sacrifice in the short run so
Mm-hmm.
that in the long run you can be flexible,
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy what it is that you want to do. Because, even ordinarily, we don't eat the same meals every day. So,
Right.
just mix up and do whatever that you
Mm-hmm.
like. So it's a
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
short-term sacrifice for the
Mm-hmm.
sake of a better quality of life. You are going to be there for your loved ones in your life, and
Mm-hmm.
then you will be flexible to enjoy other things as well.
Yeah, yeah.
That is, I mean, that is a lot of things to look forward to, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love what you shared too is, I always hear this, they say what's hard and, it's hard to eat healthy, right? I mean, it depends on your perception of it. To you, it's not even that hard, right?
Yeah.
But some people think it's hard, like it's a hard thing to eat healthy, but it's also hard to have to deal with diabetic complications, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you're choosing your hard, you're choosing your sacrifice, whether you want to sacrifice later or do you want to sacrifice it now.
Right now. And actually,
Mm-hmm.
that's a better point, because many people look at where they stand right now and they
Mm-hmm.
don't envision that
Right.
things will change later.
Mm-hmm.
Diabetes is a silent killer in many ways,
Mm-hmm.
because by the time by the time you get to all those complications, you actually don't see the progression.
Mm-hmm.
You would be eating, and by all means you think that everything is okay, but that the
Mm-hmm.
accumulation of the effects
Yeah.
of what you're doing right now leads into that life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm not an expert, but from what I have seen,
Yeah.
because these last few months have made me go and do some research and look at things and
Mm-hmm.
videos and what people have written about this, and I have come to the conclusion that, you know you better sacrifice now,
Yeah.
because now you would control it.
Mm-hmm.
But when a time comes where you can't walk, you can't see, you can't
Mm-hmm.
use your heart,
Yeah.
that'll be too late.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we're saying this, people might think we're saying it casually,
Right.
but this is reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a sacrifice on what or not to eat right now. Nobody says you shouldn't eat. You would have an alternative here.
Mm-hmm.
It is a smaller sacrifice when
Mm-hmm.
you compare it to
Right.
losing, the use of your body in
Mm-hmm.
many ways.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're
Yes.
so right about how diabetes is a silent killer. For example, if you didn't have your test, you wouldn't know that your A1C was at 12.8, right?
Yes.
But that was a turning point for you to be able to do something about it. And so I
Yeah.
think that's also important to, okay, also pay attention to the signs that life give you, and okay, you need to make a change, you need to the cues that life gives you, you need to make a lifestyle change so that you can, turn the tide around.
That is right. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And thank you so much for sharing, Ezekiel. It's been so enlightening just hearing your story, just your attitude towards change, and just be able to, also congratulate you as well, being able to surprise your doctors with, what you've achieved so far. But I think the most important thing that I want our listeners or watchers to understand is also the mindset behind everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, sharing your story with us. And I know you are very thankful for us, but we are also very thankful for you for allowing us to be in your life, for allowing us to help you on this journey as well. It's definitely such a joy to be able to work with you. So thank you so much for sharing. And for those of you who are interested in learning more about the science behind reversing diabetes, or about how we're able to reverse insulin resistance, make sure you watch the free training, just as Ezekiel did. And if you're interested in working with us, also feel free to book a call with us and we'll be able to help you in the process. So thank you so much, everyone, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.